Hey yo, hey, I swear every time I hear that track, man, I just want to spit a beat. I mean, I want to spit a rap. I want to spit some freestyle. What up, everybody? Welcome, man. Today's Tuesday, November 7th. Here we are in November already. It is crazy. Now that we're ooh, wait a minute. What is going on here? Hang on, let me turn this down. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me okay? All right, all right, all right. I want to make sure we ain't having technical issues here. Oh, I shouldn't be hearing myself back here. That's not bueno. Let me see if I can mute myself. Mute myself, cause that's no bueno. Noise cancellation is on. Okay, let's see here. Okay, check, check. No, no, no. We shouldn't be doing that. Hang on. Oh, I know what that is. Spanside, homie. All right, we good now. What's cracking, everybody? Spaceballs. Shout out to the super chat. Like I said, yeah, out of October, definitely in November. However, it does feel like it's summertime still. I mean, today was a little bit cooler here in the Inland Empire. Shout out to everybody checking in from LA, OC, IE, surrounding areas. If you're out of state, north, south, in Arizona, southwest, east coast. What up? It's your boy ODM from Lighter Shade of Brown. We got my boy Mellow Man Ace tapping in just a few. Matter of fact, I think we got him on right now. As you can tell by the caption, hey, we're just going to shoot the shit today. And I'm expecting at least a good 20%, maybe even more of weed smokers in on this live here on this podcast, man. I told Mello yesterday, I came across, well, let me get into it right now, man. We got my boy in here. What up, Padrino?
What up, man? Yeah, we had a good chat down yesterday for sure.
I hit Mello. I said, yo, I came across a video, which we'll get into here, man. Well, you know, let's talk about it. You were recently on the Be Real TV. You have been on there for a few times now, my man, and that's why I called you, because I had a similar incident that happened to me, and I know what it's like, man. Not smoking. Do you even get high? Because I don't get high.
Not no more. It's been about 24 years.
Okay. Well, you might damn near might as well not even say I'm not a weed smoker anymore.
I am not by no means, especially what they smoking nowadays. But go ahead.
so I was like, yeah, dude. Let me hit up my man and you know, just kind of like let him know that I feel your pain, brother. Like,
yeah.
Let me just go straight to the clip real quick.
Go ahead, run it.
I got it right here, and this is how it went down.
I'm just smiling for no fucking reason.
See, and that's good.
I'm over here. I'm just like, yeah, this is like, cool, man.
Like I heard the cough, like from like, but it wasn't like a just regular cough, you know?
Yeah.
It was just like, oh damn, something hit, because there's a lot of smoke. You're blowing it that way, and I'm trying to go this way, but sometimes this is gonna keep going.
It's cross. No, it's cool. It's cool. I'm just wondering when I'm sitting here smiling for no reason at all. That's what I'm trying to understand. You're gonna have to forgive me. You're going to have to forgive me, okay?
Yes.
But right now, right this moment,
yeah,
I feel as though
I
should walk out and get some air.
If you need some air, go get some air. We'll handle it. You come back.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
Okay.
And that's all that it was right there, man. And when I saw that part right there, I mean, through your sunshades, I knew what the fuck was going on. You know what I'm saying? I already knew, brother. Now, because I had a similar situation when we had Criminal on the podcast, and let me run that real quick. And this is kind of how my shit went right here.
Let's take a look at ODM.
Hey, thanks for tapping in, man. Hold on a second. I think I gotta take a break. Seriously.
Bathroom break or smoke break?
I don't normally take a break, but I gotta take a break.
All right.
Criminal.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me for a second,
it's all
right?
Good, homie. I'm gonna roll something up.
Talk to Blockiana real quick.
There we go. We can continue with the Combine Ramsey. Shout out to Jaime. He just hit $20 in the super chat.
Yeah, I saw that. Shout out to Jaime.
Bro. And that's it. That's kind of similar, exactly what went on with you. But the only thing is I I took a hit of the joint Bubba had behind me, bro. My shit was infused. That shit was laced. I found that out later. I was just trying to, you know, smoke and do one for the camera, do one for the team, as they say. But you actually caught a contact high and had to get up, right?
Yeah, my thing was a little different because I don't smoke at all, no matter what. You know, and I'd love to smoke with B, you know, as now as we're older men, like we used to when we were younger together. But you know, I know better, you know, because they don't call him Dr. Green Thumb for nothing, you know, and so I know better. Plus, um, you know, my thing is doctor's orders, you know. I have
Right.
doctor's orders not to smoke. I turn into Spider-Man. I'll be climbing on your chandeliers and do wild shit, you know what I mean? So
So wait a minute. Has it always been that way? Like even
no,
back 24 years ago?
no. I used to smoke more than some niggas today, bro. Like Snoop Dogg and them, you
So
know,
what
like I
happened?
used to smoke like that. Well, what happened was I used to sign autographs for my boy Shag, rest in peace. He lived in this apartment building in Downey somewhere, and he would call me up every Friday and be like, "Yo, Mellow, if you come sign autographs in my building, I'll give you these sacks of weed." You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I go over there. This is like 93, 94, 95 in there. And what he wasn't telling me was that it was coming over um, and imported in gas tanks. You know what I'm saying? So to throw off the smell of the marijuana, they put it in the gas tanks, right?
Right. Damn,
And
that's some
so,
old school shit right there.
right, right. And so every time I try to roll it, it'd be really wet and mushy. I had to dry it out for a while, and then I twist it up, but it wouldn't stay lit or anything. So I'm over here like hitting it hard, and whatever I
You
did
hitting
take
that
in,
gas, the real gas.
yeah, the real gas. Whatever I did take in threw a chemical imbalance in me to the point to where my mom had to check me into a rehab, and they had to put me in a straight jacket to sweat this whole shit out, bro. Like I'm having the cold sweats. I'm in the room by myself. I'm strapped in. I wish this was a lie, but it's not. I mean, it was terrible what I had to do, what I had to go through and endure for the sake of that. So that's what happened. So my doctors tell me, look, for the rest of your life, we don't want you to smoke because excuse me there.
Yeah, because we can't have you
Raul is
smoking
calling.
gasoline tanks. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So he's like, no matter whether it's good or bad stuff, it's always going to make you paranoid and you'll have issues. You know what I mean? I said, okay, cool. So of course, you stay hard headed a little bit and you try a little bit more and and then it's like, yeah, the doctor was for real, you know? And so I did that. But now since 1999, I haven't smoked bona fidely.
Well,
I tried to, like I said,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, because I wanted to bring up a very important factor, man. How we were talking about last night, how the weed has changed. The strain has changed. There's multiple fucking strains out there now since back then. You had like probably, you can count how many strains there was on your hand back then, right?
Absolutely. It wasn't that many different, strains going around, and it definitely isn't what it is today. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I happen to feel like it's a stronger THC. I'm not sure if it's infused with something. I don't know that. But I'll tell you what, just sitting in the studio there with B and the guys, I just got this hell of a contact. And like my time prior to that I was there, I felt like a pinch in my heart, but I tried to play it off so I could last the duration of the show. But it was really bothering me. And so this time,
Mellow, you weren't even there. I counted maybe 30 minutes. You weren't even there, barely tops, right?
And it's a 2-hour show. It's a 2-hour show. So imagine if I'm getting this lifted just by smelling it, how high they are. Right?
Right.
Now, my dog B been smoking for a long, long time, just like me. But, longer because he stayed with it. He became an advocate for it. He, we all know he's like the Cheech and Chong of rap music. Right. And so we know this. So when you go smoke with him, be ready to really, really put it down, because he can go one after another, after another, after another, and not be like, and still, hold a very intellectual conversation with you.
You know what?
So
Okay, so there's two ways. Either you gonna get paranoid, or you really gonna get leveled the f out and be on some concentration type shit. Because weed's supposed to make you focus. They say, right?
well, they say a lot. They say a lot. I mean, it can make you very creative. It can make you very relaxed. It can heal.
Depending on the strain. Now, I've heard years gone by, sativa is what you're supposed to smoke. If you want to write some dope shit, they say sativa. Don't fuck with the indica. And here I'm trying to learn. I'm as the years go on, because I'm like, there's a lot of dope ass rappers that smoke weed that are, you know what I'm saying? That are
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm like, I wanna just try what they try and see if that'll enhance my lyrics a little bit. You feel me?
yeah. Well, Trip, this that's funny that you say that, because about 4 years ago, I went to a party for Damian Marley,
Right.
and I got handed, like, remember when they were handing out the vape pens and shit,
Yep.
right? And you hit it, and it'd be like weed in like a liquid form.
Okay.
And they somebody gave me one of those. It was a sativa, and they were like, "Yo, you're not gonna get like that whole shit. It's gonna be very mellow. Why don't you try it?" So I tried it the first day at the club, and I felt cool, like nothing, right?
Yeah.
But the next day when I was at the crib, I hit it again, and I started to feel that same, that head game going on.
Right.
And so I just threw the pen away. But nah, man, it's real. But you know what? We are not alone. I just saw an interview today with Big Boy from the radio station, where he sat in with Be Real on the smoke box and had to get out of the car. And now he don't smoke at all.
That's right. I saw that
Okay.
too. A clip of that.
A clip, right?
And most of these stories, is it me, dog, or is it like some of these stories are really familiar? They sound the same. I left your studio. I couldn't drive home, or I got in the car. I was trying to drive. I couldn't. I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause you
Yeah.
still got to get home. And
You know what? But here's the craziest part. My brother Sendog was in the smoke box too, and he had to get out. Now my brother smokes.
I didn't
Sendog
know that.
couldn't hang. Yes, there's a clip of Sendog walking out of the smoke box car.
So is it
Yeah.
fair to say that B Real's palate is like above this screen right here, and
Yes.
he's on some other shit, like that shit don't even phase. And I see
Yeah.
him and his
No.
co-host, and they all just his co-host even, man. I know he got a podcast, and I'm watching him and everybody just do their thing. Like me, I mean, on the flip side, like I'm a drinker, you know what I'm saying, and I know there's different effects totally, but like it's like almost testing your wine palate, so to speak. You
Yeah,
can't just start from the top, and you got to start and build your wine palate. Would you agree?
I agree wholeheartedly. I also
So
agree that I also believe that you know marijuana smokers are just as picky, if not more so, than wine tasters. Wine tasters, because I've had a wine company, I know this. I've seen people, you know, they do the whole smell around, the swirl around, the turn it to the side. Let's see the legs running,
yeah, because
all these other
you
things.
have your own wine, right?
I have my own wine company, so I know. And that's why I did it, because the marijuana thing is not me. So I figure I go to the wine lane. There's only E40 and maybe Snoop Dogg in that lane, and it did really well for me. But um, what I've noticed is that marijuana users are very knowledgeable about what they smoke and what they're putting into their body, and what kind of a high they're trying to experience. You feel me? So for a guy like Be Real, I'm sure he's so well educated on everything that he knows exactly how many joints to what time of the day he can parlay with. You
Yeah.
feel me?
So
So I'm sure.
I actually, when you was leaving, and I didn't catch wind of this when I first watched the clip, but after you and I spoke yesterday on the phone, he mentioned some like on some like DIY type shit. Like, hey, you want to feel better? Go get you some sugar, a sugary drink, and it'll help you out. Is that right?
Yeah. Any kind of sugar candy, any kind of Reese's Pieces, any type of like fruit roll up, maybe a Sprite or a Coca Cola, or a combination of the three is what actually helped me, and some water, to help me level myself back out, because I did have to drive back to the crib after the show, and
After
so
I got the contact high, that shit, I didn't even hit the joint, and I got high like a mother. Now, did Sendog, did he hit it, or he just was hotbox too and had to get out?
no, he hit it a few times, of course. Sendog's a smoker, and then after a while, he was just like engulfed in smoke and had to tap out. Yeah.
What other? You know what? In all fairness, that wasn't bad. I mean, you like getting the contact, and the fact that, I mean, you're not alone is what I'm saying. Obviously, I had the
Yeah.
same thing. I had a contact before I hit that shit on my podcast, and then what I did was I went and hit it anyway, not realizing I had a contact, and that just made it even worse. But I mean,
Right.
nothing beats the story than you years ago hitting some shit that came out of a gasoline tank, my man. Like that just takes the cake, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was weeks and weeks of that, because I, was like, okay, let me go get my sack. Let me go sign these autographs and get my sack. So for weeks I'm doing this, and the homie, he didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he's resting in peace anyway. There's nothing I could tell him anyway. But he was my dog like that. He was my real dog. So I know he wasn't trying to, like to do anything malicious. Is what he got is what he got. Unfortunately, that happened to me, and maybe it's supposed to be that way for me in now the future, right?
Right.
I don't know, but that's that. It was real, and that contact was way real. I think what the strands that they have now, and what they growing is way more intense than the stuff I was smoking when I was coming up on Cypress Hill. We were smoking some, we even grew some shit in the backyard one year. You know what I mean?
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we did. In back of Mom's crib, we grew a big tree and we took it down after it was over the roof. And then our homeboy Kirby from across the street curated it for us and
What
really
was
brought
it?
it home.
Was it some stress? Was it some skunk? Was it some humble? Humble
It
Caddy?
was a skunk. It was a skunk for sure.
Definitely. Because back in
Yes,
those
it's
days,
skunk
that's
weed.
what it was, man. It was either, I think the order went stress,
Yeah.
which is probably one of the lower on the totem pole. Then it went skunk and then chronic, right?
Well, there was another one. There was indica.
Okay, that was around. All right. All right.
Yeah. And we used to go get that from the Jamaicans and shit.
Hey, I wanna hit this real quick. I'm looking up your wine because a couple cats. Shout out to everybody in the super chat right here on YouTube on the Blockout Podcast. Also, everybody listening this on the playback on Spotify, Pandora. We invite you to come on over to YouTube because this is where you can actually visually see us and tap in live. Some of the homies are saying that besides E40, yourself, got their own wines out. It's saying right here on the screen, Raiders legend Charles Woodson has his own wine. Did you know that?
Well, yeah, of course. He's got the interception wine, and he had another one called 24. So yeah, I'm familiar with all those. And the wine game is crazy. I'm actually in position right now to sell the company because it's way, how can I say politically and sound correct here? When you go and into such an endeavor, you start to realize quickly that those families up in Sonoma County and Napa Valley, they're not just going to let you walk in there and, and try to capitalize on something their families have been holding on to for 75, 100, 125 years.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? It's a heavy endeavor. And my Havana Wine Company is now, in the process of being sold.
Well, Let me ask you this: Is it having your own wine as the same as if, like, if I were to have my own brewery, or not brewery, but my own beer at a brewery? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You're
yeah,
dealing with
yeah.
the same kind of issues, no? Because the brews they're brewed just as wines made, right? Or am I off topic for that?
Wine is made out of grapes.
Right,
Right.
right.
And so, no, you don't have to, go out there and squeeze the grapes yourself or anything like that. You know what I mean? What you do is you do pick the flavors that you like and the blends that you like, and then create a wine out of that. You know, um, you might like a mixture of berries with strawberries, or like a with a wood finish or a stronger finish, something like that, right? So you want to smell it a certain kind of way. So you go out and you pick your flavors. Then you have the guys in the field blend it for you, and then they bring it out the back for you. Then mass produce, and then you buy it, in pallets. You buy it in pallets.
Shit, bro. I mean, is that shit, how do I say, financially, is that a smart move to make? You know what I'm saying? Like, to get into
Well,
that wine business?
I mean, the best way to do it is to do like Drew Bledsoe, the ex quarterback of the Buffalo Bills and the Patriots. He bought the entire vineyard. You know what I mean? He has his own vineyard out there. So he has acres upon acres upon acres of fruits being grown, and then they manufacture his shit right there on their grounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. So of course that's going to be a lot more lucrative. You know what I mean? I unfortunately didn't have that type of capital. You know what I mean? But you can still start the endeavor, and you got to get your licenses and everything, and make sure everything is legit.
I think I think the name of my wine would be like, on some like ODM, like spill the wine type shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah,
might
yeah.
have to cut bread with the war on that one. You know what I'm saying?
hmm Yeah.
On some shit. But I have thought about doing like my own ale, on the brewery, like lighter shade of brown ale or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Just for
Sure.
kids. Not obviously a long time thing. I mean, because I heard, those you can only go so far with that. I mean, you make a deal with a brewery and then, like, I don't know,
Well,
E40. Go
the
ahead.
deal, the deal is different. Is you get the way Snoop Dogg did it. A lot of people think it's Snoop Dogg's wine. Snoop Dogg lent his character to it, but it's actually owned by some other cats, some white boys, right? And so, but because they put Snoop on the label and all that, people think it's Snoop Dogg's wine. He probably gets a percentage of it, but the guys who actually own it are some like straight up European dudes. You know what I mean? So that's what I learned while moving into that lane. You know what I mean? You get to
Yeah.
really know what's really going on, and how the wool is being pulled over certain people's eyes, and shit like that. How to move around in that lane and go into Napa and really try to accomplish something is it's a whole different beast.
Right. I definitely switching lanes over here, man, from wine. At this just a few hours ago, man, this news broke on C Night of the Dove Check, man. I know I contacted you earlier as we were getting set for tonight, man, to go on. And C Night of the Dub Shack, if you guys don't know, man, passed away today, as a matter of fact. And this was broke by TMZ. And I guess he entered into the hospital, man. My man had diabetes. And what had happened was he went into cardiac arrest while he was in the hospital. And they put him on a ventilator. And they just recently took him off of that today. So this hits home because it's number one, hip hop. Number two, it's our era, our genre. I remember touring with them cats. I knew Bo Rock more so. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
I
Same
think
here.
I'm not sure if I even crossed paths with C Night from the Dove Shack.
Right,
Um,
right,
Bo
right.
Rock was the
I'm the
one that was
same.
on the scene, right?
Right. I'm the same as you. Bo Rock is my guy. I think C Night was one of those kind of guys that did the show and went home quickly. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Which would make a lot of sense why we I don't have any pictures with this man. You know, it's very unfortunate and very like premature. Me myself being 56 years old and just recently plug 2 died of De La Soul. So it's like,
Correct.
we're in that demographic, it seems, and to make it to 60 years old is like a goal now. You know what I mean?
Well, it was like I
So
was telling you yesterday. Well, first off, C Night 52 years old, man. So that's right around our age, man. Within years, few years, and you're absolutely right. Like I was telling you last night, bro. We were talking. I'm like, what's a trip about hitting the 50 is like if you made it to 50, bro. Like you consider yourself lucky. Like consider yourself very fortunate and blessed because I don't know what it is back then if cats was living this easy to 50, but for some reason, some shit's in the air, whether it's in the food, whatever it is. I mean, obviously we experienced COVID and cats was just falling. And now I see, and it was more so those with that had already conditions underlying, but just to see the homies, like man, like we got our families and so forth. But our homies that we went to school, or even homies in the industry, you just go, damn, that's a trip. Like I'm lucky to be alive.
no, I know one that really hit home for me was the passing of Biz Markie, rest in peace, and that really hit home because I remember when I was coming up, going to certain seminars in the industry and seeing Biz walk in with LL Cool J and people like that, and you like stare at them in awe, and you're like, I still hadn't even came out yet. But I know that my record's slated to drop. But here are these guys who are already been doing it since '85, 84, '83, walking in, and I was kind of in awe. So to see Biz pass away earlier this year really hit home, as you said. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have
And
any stories with Biz? I mean, did you meet him on a few occasions at all? Did
you
you
know
rock
what?
shows
I've
with him?
never in my whole career met Biz Markie. Never crossed paths.
What about Plug Two?
Plug 2, yes. The very first Cypress Hill. Um, yo, damn. Give me a second.
Go ahead. You need to get
Um,
that.
I kind of
Yeah,
no.
we'll
It's
pause. We'll
too late.
pause. I could put you on hold.
Okay.
All right. Mellow Man Ace, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Blockout Podcast. That gives me time to go here to the super chat. That's why we live, baby. You know what I'm saying? Shouting out everybody right here on the super chat. We just shooting the shit with my boy Mellow Man Ace. We both had like some, smoking encounters, scary nightmares. So we had to talk about it. But let's see here. Shout outs to Robin the Hood. What up, Jules? Jules Quinones, man, always on game, man, always showing us support. Spaceball's been in the building since we started here at 6:00. We're just gonna kind of shoot it tonight, man. Talk about some current events. What's going down. Obviously, going back to C Night, man, from the Dove Shack. Very very sad. Especially shout outs to his family, his loved ones. Passed away at 52. Come on, man. You got to be crazy if you haven't bumped Summertime in the LBC. And I think my man had the last verse on that as well. But so sad, and just bump this track, man. You know what I mean? This track is legendary. It's a timeless track. And C Night, we owe a lot of respects to him, and the crew there for that song. So diabetes is a motherfucker, man. I'll tell you that much. I know as Latinos, we don't really, I don't know, we're at the top of the chain when it comes to diabetes, but I know African Americans are up there along with the American Indians, the Indians as well. And something not to be played with, man, for sure. It's type 1 and type 2. I was reading on it a little bit here, but just take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. Shout out to Primo Funk. What's going on? Any questions, man, for Mellow? I know he was on hold. Actually, he'll probably pop back in. He had to take a call. What up, Joe Rhymes? What's cracking, big dog? Yes, sir. We appreciate that. Snacks in the park on a summer afternoon. Is that the new one right there? We gonna run with that one? Yes, classic timeless joint, of course, Resin. So yeah, that's just so sad, man. Telling you, when you start getting there up in age, bro, like you see people just fall off, man, back and forth, like, and you're going, damn, well, his family members are just homies. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Albuquerque. Let's see here. What up to Jason right here tapping in as well. While we're waiting on Mello to come back in, I just kind of wanted to go over a couple tour dates since we're on here. One being this weekend, we're actually going to be in Arizona. So shout outs to everybody in AZ. Right there, you see on the screen, we're gonna be at San Carlos Apache Veterans Contest at Apache Gold Casino and Resort is where it's at. That's this Friday. Now there's two events. There's Friday and Saturday. Friday is with us, MB Riders, Big Gemini, and then of course on Saturday is Bone Thugs Exhibit, and they're going to be on this. So I don't want you guys to think if you guys are going to the show, make sure you read that flyer in your ticket that those are two separate nights. It's almost like they put the Latinos on Friday and they put, the brothers on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? But it's all one big hip hop weekend. So you can get your tickets at lightershadeofbrown.com. Let's see here. And then on Saturday, this Saturday, here's a big one right here. This is pretty dope. We're going to be in Indio at the fairgrounds over there for the Festival of Wheels and Bullies and music. So there you got Twixie, us, of course, Lighter Shade of Brown, Mariah Avila, the homie MC Pancho, Maso, what up, dude, De California, and a bunch of bullies, man, and Willie. Like, come on through. You got something for everybody there. Shout outs to Round 2 Entertainment for bringing us out. So we're definitely going to have a busy weekend this weekend indeed, and we hope to see everybody out there. And this just in, and I gotta just push this, we're also coming to Texas next week, Sunday afternoon, November 19th. We're coming to the city of Odessa. Shout outs to Odessa, Texas, man, from your boy ODM, Money Moons, the whole crew. We are coming through for the 52nd Tejano Super Show. So yeah, we hope to see everybody out there. That's an all-day event. It's a little Tejano, looks like the car show, and of course your boys. We're gonna be rocking, some classics, and of course the new joints, man. West Sunsets on the west side, and of course Funk by Nature, that new one. If you haven't got a chance to go stream the new Lighter Shade of Brown music, I invite you to go jump over to the Lighter Shade of Brown YouTube channel and check that out. All right, so yeah, that's it as far as that. Lightershadeofbrown.com. You can go check out basically all our tour dates are all right there. So yeah, man, what else is going on? Armando from the Dino, Dirty Dino. What's going on, man? San Bernardino represent, IE in the house. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let me click off of this. ODM and Mellow Man Ace, thank you, brothers, for putting Latinos on the map. We appreciate you, brother, for supporting us, because if it wasn't for you listening to our music, that shit goes both ways. And I mean that sincerely. You know what I mean? Like, we have to have an audience to appreciate our music and buy our music back then or stream it nowadays. So we thank you, my boy, Joseph, for that compliment as well. I mean, and it's evident, you know what I mean? Like, we were having this conversation about rappers today versus rappers back then, 80s, 70s, 90s. Rappers today, I'm going to ask you this. How many rappers today do you feel that when I say today, the new generation, you know what I'm saying? Let's just say anywhere between, 2000, we'll say 2012 and now. How many of the rappers within that window do you think will be able to play arenas, stadiums? You know what I'm saying? And I ask that because That's what we're doing. We're still doing that. A lot of shade of brown. You know what I mean? Ice Cube, Warren G, all the 90s greats. And even East Coast. I mean, Mellum. We just did a show with Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel, Farious 5. Who else was on that ticket? What's homie's name? Master Ace. I was born to roll. He was on there. It was like a West Coast meets East Coast type vibe. And this is timeless music, is what I keep screaming. You know what I mean? And so I asked you that question. So I'm gonna wait for the super chat to light up. Appreciate that. Thank you, Randy Jean. Randy G, I'm gonna have to make you a moderator. Hit that like she says. It's for free, please. That's right. That's right. If you want to send a donation too, I'll highlight your name up there and we'll shout you out. But it's all love. Right now, actually, at this present time, if you're wondering where the rest of the crew is, we are getting set for a new location. We're building a location. You know what I'm saying? So stay tuned for that. We hope to have this spot within the next maybe 2 to 3 weeks, because we don't want to rush it. We want this to really be, really a dope. Yeah, come on, man. We gotta keep up with Mr. American Cholo over there. You know what I'm saying? We gotta look good over here and represent this platform well. I eat LA, baby. That's what it is right there. Let's see here. So yeah, in a few weeks, give us 2 to 3 weeks. Till then, in between, I'll be popping on right here. I got my my setup, and just to kind of tackle like current events and just keep you updated on that. All right. Let's see here. Joe Rhymes says, that's a great question. The only answer is if they make timeless, we're building. Let me read that again. That's a great question. The only answer is they make timeless, we're building. I'm not quite sure what that means, man. You might have to write that out a different way so I can understand, Joe. Let's see here. Amber says over here, easier to become a rapper today than back in the day. The new hip hop don't bring classics like it used to. Send like songs are hot for a few days and then that's it. Shout outs to Pico Rivera represent. Yep, you're absolutely right. I think let's bring my man Mellow back in here. Mellow, you there? Yo. Okay. I see that he was here, but I don't see no screen. He's texting me right now. Yeah, today is just you're absolutely right, man. And I think with today's because it's so saturated, you got to just keep dropping them week by week by week, video by video by video, because it's easier, it's accessible, to a camera, to a studio. Shit, man, I shit you not. Like, I'm sick because I'm doing beats again, right? Produce Sunsets, check it out. Also produce Funk by Nature, all the new Louder Shade of Brown shit. Your boy's producing that. So if you need beats, holla at me. But what's crazy is back in the days, we would hire studio musicians, like the Lighter Shade of Brown music, like and a lot of others would, like to come in and play a bass, because I didn't know how to play bass. I could play, mess around on the keyboard and get it down, but we would hire musicians to basically sit there for like an hour or so. Mellow's not topping in. I don't know. Hit me back, brother. Like Stan the Guitar Man, you might have heard his voice. Like, he played a lot of the NWA stuff when Dr. Dre and all that. He was the one that called up on the radio on that radio song with Eazy-E and said, "Yo, man, this is Stan the Guitar Man. I want to know if I can get paid for this, motherfucker." And he legit, he played on a couple of our songs. Lowrider Madness. Go look up the Hip Hop Locals album. Shout outs to what was his other name? Ronnie King, dope fucking keyboardist, man. He would bring his Moog to the studio, lay down those funk sounds. Another one was a guy by the name of Soup, Soup. He would bring in his Moog and just play the whole joint. My thing now is, that's right, Anthony, he got ganked. So my thing now is man, I shit you not, like, I'm on Fiverr. I go to the website Fiverr. I don't know if you heard of that app, but you go to Fiverr and they basically have all types of services that you can use, right? And I'm on there and I'm looking up, musicians. So I'm like, I wonder if I can find me somebody to play a bass line for me. And then sure enough, I came across several and talked to the homie, and I was like, look, man, they charge you either for 30 seconds of play, the 8 bars, a whole song session. They have different prices. So you send them a little 8 bar freaking part of what you're trying to do with an idea, just an idea. Motherfuckers will play it and you'll have it back within 24 hours at your desktop. That is so dope, man. So anyway, I just, I think it's dope. Technology, like I'm saying, my point is everything is accessible. It's easy. Someone screenshot what I'm saying. My homeboy Pocho is throwing the boxing challenge to LA Icon for $10,000. Pocho, the guy that used to be on with LA Icon. Let's talk about it. Yeah, what happened there? Because I know the food community, when it started, it had Pocho on there, right? So you guys, I don't really follow as much, but I mean, I know obviously who the food community is. I know who Icon is, and Pocho, he was. I met him through Icon when they came down and they did the Blockout podcast on the LA Icon episode. But yeah, and then they were telling me about the whole podcast thing right then and there. They were debuting it, and I saw Pocho on like maybe a few shows or episodes, and the next thing you know, I don't know if they had a fallout or what, but and then I seen him. I think I saw a clip of him over on with Tony at Rhodium Radio. There's Mellow right there. But let me know in the super chat. What's up, my boy? There he is.
I'm back.
Everything good?
Everything
Okay.
is everything.
Yeah, bro. We was just talking about this question. You follow food community at all, or LA Icon, or those cats over there on that podcast? No.
I'm really not tapped in right now, but man, my day is focused on certain other things.
Yeah.
Why?
Let's talk about that, Mellow, because you and I were talking, and let's update everybody where you've been. I know other than I saw you at my birthday, and you were, I was blessed enough to have you come through on August, but there was like a big gap, bro. And I know you've been working on some things with community and some teaching, right? Some
Yeah.
education, some up and coming artists. Talk about it real quick.
Well, it's not so much up and coming artists. What I did was I got approached by City Councilman David Argudo in the city of La Puente to spearhead a arts program for the kids in the San Gabriel Valley, and I took it. It was a great opportunity, so I took it. We had to come up with a curriculum, of course. And so I tapped into a friend of mine, a dear friend named Abby Losas, who had been working in the industry in that degree as teaching and doing stuff with Matt Sorum of Guns N' Roses and things of that nature. And
Okay.
right away, she knew exactly how to come up with the curriculum for the project and for the program. And then I tapped in with my man Bronick Wroblewski, who's been a good friend of mine for over 30 years. So he could teach the producer class. I would teach the rap class, which was called Rap Star.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna say you
Abby,
got to give him the title. I think that's that's dope, man. That's a dope name.
yeah, no, it's called the Mellow Man Ace Arts and Edutainment Arts Program in the city of La Puente in San Gabriel Valley. And we just had our first graduating class of 125 kids.
Nice.
They had 13 weeks of a program where they start learning the industry and they start learning. I had mock battles, for instance, in my classroom. I taught them how to write bilingual raps, Spanish, English, Spanglish. I taught them how to love themselves in front of a mirror, teach them how to sign contracts and what a contract means. So I would make mock contracts with them for their performance coming up at the end of the season, right? And I would pay them $20. I said, okay, if you're going to sign this contract, you'll make $20, right?
Right.
And The kids would get the little contract agreement. They would sign on, and they get their $20, and then they'd show up. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to do that, but I wanted to show them as much and taught them about merchandising and marketing and all these other things along the way. So it's a 10-week program with then 3 weeks of rehearsals.
Is there somewhere online, Mellow, I could bring up as you're talking about this? Because I'm looking.
I'm sure it's out there. We didn't create like pages for it or anything like that because we're dealing with minors, and you need parental permission for all that. So we kept it in house, but the parents did come out, and we were sold out. It was sold out. They're the culmination certification award party for them, where they got to perform what they learned, and my little rappers were up there doing a thing.
Oh, that would have been so dope to like document.
Yeah,
that.
yeah. No, we documented it. We have it, and now other cities in Los Angeles want it, like Canoga Park. I have a meeting with them next week. Also, Baldwin Park wants it, so we'll have a meeting with them the following week after that. So people are seeing the results of the self-esteem that it boosted these kids into. Many of them had never held a microphone. Many of them had never seen a drum machine or a keyboard. And the city of La Puente went all the way out and got all these instruments for every classroom. And I had a blast with it, man. I really miss those kids. I grew to really like them and see them week after week and grow to know their little personalities and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. So we sat in front of city council, Abby and I, and we pitched it, and they loved it. So each councilman put into the pot, and we were able to offer it for free to the community of Avocado Heights, Hacienda Heights, La Puente, of course, and Bassett, and all those neighborhoods there. So the kids were coming, but we did face one issue where certain kids wanted to go, but because it was in a different hood, they had to be careful, you know what I mean, where they went. And so,
yeah,
right. So it's very serious. But the ones that did make it, it went off without a hitch, and we were able to have our first season. So I'm looking forward to season 2.
Now, how long is the course?
The first course was slated for 10 weeks, but because I had some performances and things to do, it stretched into 13 weeks. But now we're refining it, and we're going to come legit with 15 weeks for our next time out, so that way they get 12 weeks of actual lessons and 3 weeks of rehearsals.
Is it once a week and how many hours, or is it twice a week, or how does that work?
It's once a week, every Thursday, how we did it in La Puente. And we started with, the younger the kids were, we had brackets. Like, obviously, a 8-year-old has to go to bed by 8 p.m., right?
Right.
So the 8-year-olds to 11 and 12 were coming in first at 4 p.m. right after school, right? And then you had the other brackets, the 13s, the 17, right? And then we had the 18, you know what I mean? So we did it like that, so that everybody, and it was for an hour class every Thursday. So there, what I really like is lesson planning. And as an educator, now that I seem to be at least a little bit, it's exciting to prep the classroom and look at every kid's grades and making sure that their attendance is up and all these things. It was a new challenge, and I loved it. Back in the day, we used to get record deals. Now we getting city deals.
Give me Manny my sound effects over here for
Which
that
is
one.
why you didn't see me on tour much this year. I wasn't out there a lot.
And that's okay, because man, that's always gonna be there. But over here, man, you working with the kids, the community, bro. And how many kids are we talking?
We're talking about 125 kids, broken up between 3 classrooms. And this being the 50th anniversary of hip hop year, it was such a blessing that it happened this year. So that way I could give back to the game that's given me so much,
And interesting point right there, Mellow, that you bring up on the 50th of hip hop, and which was another, and we'll end on this. Well, we still got about 10 minutes. I want to hit at least an hour on this, but we were talking about Latinos in hip hop and being part of this. 50th hip hop anniversary celebration, if you will. And we're going, man, back in August, I know I saw something on TV, and they had a bunch of rappers. It was maybe some award show. I don't know. You probably can correct me, where a bunch of rappers just came out and did their thing. Not one Latino was on that stage, and I know it kind of raised a ruckus. Not a ruckus, but just a little minor argument, within the podcast platforms. I think I might have touched on it just a little, but here we are now. And that was kind of like the first thing on your mind, out your mouth, on your mind when we spoke yesterday. And you were just like, man, the 50th hip, man, I'm just trying to, gather my thoughts on this. Go ahead, but I'll let you speak on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and complain. I have done some things. I know that the Grammys called me in to do some stuff at the Grammy Museum, and that was super dope. But in terms of these live concerts that are going on, you might see Fat Joe, if you're lucky, on a lot of these 50th celebrations, and that's great for Fat Joe. But the game didn't start with Fat Joe in terms of Latinos' involvement and being proud to be Latino. First of all, you know what I mean? It started on the East Coast with my brother, Mr. Shik, my big bro. But when it came to making this thing a global thing, the Mellow Man Aces, the lighter shade of browns, the Kid Frosts of the world have to be mentioned. And I think leaving us out of those type of performances is somewhat of a travesty to hip hop, because we've helped the game grow. We've helped the industry grow. We've helped the culture grow. A lot of us, know that without the Latino involvement and the purchasing dollar of the Latino who basically go to all these concerts more than anybody, you know what I'm saying, is a travesty.
I think that you hit it on the button there, and especially more of the mainstream outlet like us, Mellow, lighter shade of brown, Frost, really brought it to the forefront. And I'm not even gonna forget about the homie Big Pun, rest in peace, and the Fat Joes, as you mentioned. And I think you're right on point with that as well. I don't want to step over the fact that you mentioned Mr. Shik. Can you spell his name, bro? Because I kind of want to bring that on and educate people who are not already. Who
Mr. Mr. Schik, Mr. Shik, like the razor.
Okay,
Mr. Shik. Mr. Shik is the first guy I ever heard rap in Spanish, and that was in 1981, 82 on the Sugar Hill label. He had a small Spanish rap at the end of the song called Disco Dream. That's where I got the idea to come out and write the very first all Spanish rap, not just a verse. And then, of course, what I was able to do in 1990 with Mentirosa and add on to the game by flipping the bilingual, what y'all know as the Latin lingo, or the funky bilingual style.
Mas Pingon style. No, Mas Pingon was all in Spanish, right?
Was all Spanish. So I tried to add on to what he did, because they got dropped off the label after their first single because they were asking for their royalties. And at the time, Sylvia Robinson, who was the owner of Sugar Hill Records, didn't want that type of smoke from the group. So she just dropped them and they went into oblivion. And they were, they left the game, basically. And Mr. Shik is a personal friend of mine, and I'm proud to call him my big brother. And recently we were able to connect because 2 years ago, I did a post about him on Facebook, and one of his cousins happened to be following me, DM me, and said, "Hey, man, are you really talking about Mr. Shik? That's my cousin." And I said, "Hell yeah, I'm talking about Mr. Shik. I've been looking for that man for 31 years.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm going to get him to call you." I said, "Man, if you for real, here's my number. Have him call me." So when he calls me, I have to test him because I don't know. I said, "Kick the rap that you kicked on Disco Dream." Right. And word for word, he kicked it. So then next thing you know, it is he's coming to California to Palm Springs, because now he does graphics for colleges and stuff like that. So he was going to Palm Springs to do a job. I said, "I'll meet you in Palm Springs." And so we did that, and we were able to unite for the very first time. after me going to New York since 1988 to look for this brother, to find him, to thank him.
And he's in LA.
And now he came to California. He lives in South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
He lives in South Carolina. So if I'm one of the godfathers and you're one of the godfathers, this man is like the grandfather. You feel me? Right. He's our Cool Herc. You feel me?
Right.
He's our Cool Herc, and he's a great man, very humble giant. And you know, he's now starting to get his props because of I did find him, and it's a beautiful thing, man. There's a documentary coming out soon where he finally gets his shine, and I'm so proud of the fact that I was able to start that dialogue. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Shik right there. Did you ever ask him the questions like what was like at all like, you know, what were your thoughts back then? Did you know that like Latinos in rap were going to be as where they are now today? I mean, did you ever like cross that question with him?
I did ask him that question, and on the real, he said, really frankly, he had no idea. But that one day he was in South Carolina in 1990, 91. He was watching MTV and he saw my video and he was like, wow, now finally, after all these years, somebody picks up the torch and really does something with it. And so he told me this in real time, and I was like, you know, real humbled by it, you know, that he was watching me, but I didn't know it. And this is a man that I have great respect for. I think we all owe him a debt of gratitude and definitely flowers. So if you can go to his Instagram page and give this man his flowers, it's Mr. Shik, I think Mean Machine. Give that man his flowers. All Rasa, give that man his flowers, because he's the one that showed me the way, that then showed Kid Frost, and then Frost led to Lighter Shade. Lighter Shade leads into Cypress. Cypress leads into the Beat Nuts, Fat Joe, Big Pun. It's a domino effect on an educational level.
Preach, brother, preach. And this is why it's so important, man. I mean, I feel like we're kind of doing our own little 50th anniversary of Latinos in hip hop right now. You know, just you and I, because you ain't gonna get that shit with Drink Champs. You ain't. I'm sorry, I'm calling them out. You ain't gonna get it. You'll get it with some of these, you know, podcasters that are in our circle who have.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of these outlets are fluff, right? So they give you the big fluffy name, and then that person takes all the credit for what everybody else did, yourself included. Right. And so now they have the podium. So they say whatever they feel is slick and clever and take the credit for everything. And I see it and I shun on it. I don't say much about it, but you know what I'm saying? The facts are the facts. You know, everybody wants the fluffy name that's at the top now, you know what I mean? Instead of going, you know, you got to know where you come from so you know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. And when it comes to blowing this thing up for Latinos, that's all West Coast movement that did that. Mellow Man Ace, Kid Frost, Lighter Shade of Brown, Cypress Hill. Come on, man. And all the others that came, you know what I'm saying? Our boy resting in peace. Used to roll with Brown. Come on, man. I'm drawing a blank. Help me here.
With Chino XL? As you were about to say.
Slow Pain. Our brother Slow Pain, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Proper Dose. The Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? All them brothers added on. Sinful and his man I-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Mexicans.
So when it comes to understanding the lineage, you know, you want to understand where you came from so that when we add on to it, it extends its lifespan, and we educate each other and educate the youth as to where this came from. Because one day I woke up and the bilingual style didn't exist. I had to create that so that years from now in the future, there's kids waking up saying, I'm going to rap like that guy. You know what I'm saying? So,
or it solidified it. It's okay to. Because, you know, let's face it. I mean, right now, let's go back 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, even farther. It's like, you know, we were frowned upon. of speaking Spanish in a public workplace or work establishment. I know my parents were, they were frowned upon, so they were like told to spoke English. So I think in the rap sense, wow, like I know you opened some eyes. We opened some eyes doing the Spanglish thing to where it was like, yo, that's dope. That's one of us. Oh, and he's flipping it in both languages. I could do that. Yep.
Yeah, and I think we've helped to break that stereotype with our music. There have been, I'm sure you've gotten the same fans that'll tell you, I learned how to speak Spanish off of your record, or I get it a lot, especially from Mentirosa alone. I'll get black brothers that tell me that. White cats, fans, just random people that I meet.
Right.
I get that. And so I know that our records have helped break those stereotypes, and again, not to sound, like we're sitting here pouting or anything. I just feel the day's going to come, and I think it's very near, where our props will be just because now you got cats like Bad Bunny and guys like that really breaking the mold, and Latinos have outsold everybody this year alone. Latino artists have outsold everybody between him and Cardi B. Come on, man. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing, and I think the future looks bright for all of us.
And I think it's dope that it's multicultural, like in a Latino sense. Like you Puerto Rico, you mentioned Bad Bunny, you mentioned even Daddy Yankees and the reggaeton of Puerto Rico to to the Cubanos, Pitbull and the Peso Pluma now Mexico, and it's all surrounded, brother. And it's like
we got the game surrounded, bro, from all angles. And you just said it right there. You know what I mean? All those different countries you named of those rappers, we got the game surrounded. There's nobody outselling us. And I think, it's a shame that sometimes it's more of a popularity contest and maybe a units thing, a number of units moved, perhaps, and that's fine. That's fine. But, everybody has their fan base. Everybody has a fan base. I know I've moved over 2 million records myself. So there's somebody out there listening.
Right.
Somebody's out there listening. I got my plaques on the wall. Somebody's listening. Now if it's a matter of, okay, well, we need more like 6 million records sold, or if it's a criteria based thing, then what's that number? Is it 7 million? Is it 8 million? Is it 9 million? Or do you have a star on the Walk of Fame? You know what I mean? What is it? What's the criteria for that? For that step, right?
I'm glad you brought that up in the Walk of Fame, because it seems like, is it mean? And I'm not saying this in a hating way, but it seems like it's easier to get one nowadays. And I've heard of rumors and talks of you can even buy your way into the Hollywood Walk of Fame. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's open knowledge. If you check it out on the internet, you just look at what it takes to get one. Now
I'm not saying anybody, Joe Baller down the street could just go, saying break
right.
bread.
No. You gotta have a catalog. You gotta have a body of work.
Fame, you know what I'm saying?
No, you gotta have a body of work of some kind in the arts, and I think it's upwards of $53,000 now to do that. About $53K. If you got that and you got a body of work in the arts, then you can have one. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I know that Charlie Wilson is barely about to get his now in the coming days. I saw Bobby D post that up, and I'm like, wow, the great Charlie Wilson still don't have one. You know what I mean? So
that's interesting though. I always wondered that, and don't get me wrong, all the hip hop artists that have received one, I'm like, especially in our circle, man, West Coast is it's a beautiful thing, man. Everyone from from Dre, or Snoop and B, you know what I'm saying, Cypress and
my brother,
and your bro. I mean that says something, that just
it says that their corporations have done well. The corporations that they started, You know, these artists, they feed a multitude of people. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
Yeah.
when you go on tour with Snoop Dogg, I'm sure his entourage has got to be 50 people, if not more. You know what I'm saying? So,
Damn, you
it's
think Snoop still travels with a big entourage like that as he did back in the day?
I mean, I would think so. I would think so. I mean, that production team to just put together that stage. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh, I feel you in terms of workers, like
yeah,
not
workers,
homies. You know what I'm saying? I thought they
workers,
were like the
workers.
hood. You remember back in the day,
Right.
we seen the neighborhood out, fool. Like, you know, but then they ended up getting us in trouble because any one of them slip, that comes back on us. I'm like, nah, I mean, I keep my circle small now. I never
Yeah.
really been one to bring an entourage like that, to be honest. I mean, there was just no point, you know.
Yeah, no, me either. I've always, you know, I think you've seen me. I try to keep it family based all the time, all through the years. When I
Yeah.
first came up, I had my two sisters dancing for me. My brother Sendog was my hype man to the point to where nowadays, for the last 10, 15 years, my son has been my DJ. You know what I mean? So I try to keep it in the family and share the wealth and try to help, you know, those around me, especially my family, because my pops, he used to always say, whoever makes it first, take the rest of them, take the rest of you with them. That's what he used to say. So
Mm,
I grew up listening to the Isley Brothers, listening to the Brothers Johnson, the Jackson Five, the Jets, Sister Sledge. You see where I'm going with this?
oh
All
yeah.
those groups were all family based. And so when I came up, you know, when you go look at the Soul Train footage or you go look at the Arsenio Hall footage, that's my brothers and sisters on stage with me, and you can't deny my, you know, how trill I kept it.
That's so That's so bizarre, man, just to hear that. Like, I was like, just thinking you was growing up on some like legendary type shit music. Like, yeah, I'm like, yes, it's just legend. But there is something unique. You're right, man. Those are families. Jackson, fucking Zap, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Roger Troutman, Larry Troutman, Lester Troutman, Baby Troutman, all them Troutmans.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those
And
were
I
all
think it's
family
so dope,
based.
Mellow. I think it's so dope to see you and Sandman just in the same building or together or just on you know on pictures. And I see fans comment too, man, as well. Like that's just dope. You guys are legends, bro. Both of you. That you should be pretty proud of yourselves, man.
I am. And I'm so happy that, yeah, me and my brother are fucking chili most. Um, and, and with B2, man, it's been an amazing, you know, roller coaster ride since 1987 that I've been on when I dropped my first single, Mas Gong, to now, you know, doing all these other things and playing golf now in my older age and loving that,
I see
you
that,
know,
man.
you
That really
know,
tripped me
like,
out too. I'm like, man, Mello
yo,
out here on the golf course, really. And not only that, he's assembling his own crew to come play on Wednesday.
yeah, yeah. You know, I realized the other day that I'm semi-retired. I really am. And I'm enjoying. I smell the flowers in my yard every morning. You know, I water them myself. Um, I'm semi-retired. I play golf a lot. I do my shows here and there, and you know, I keep it to myself. I keep it pushing. You know, I had the wine company that did well for me. You know, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm
I wanted
good.
I wanted to show you something. Somebody see that comment. I don't know if you can see that comment right there. It said, "Did Mellow Man Ace ghost write Sunday afternoon?" Can you answer that?
Absolutely not. Unequivocally not. Yeah. Hey, Fred Reck used to always say expeditiously. I don't know
Expedition.
what that meant, but it's expeditiously not.
Trip on
No.
this. And no, instead though, Space Balls, I want you to take a look at the screen here. And who's that guy right there sitting next to me on that bench? So he didn't write Sunday afternoon,
Yeah. I
but he
was
was
there
in the
though.
video.
I was in the video, man. I've loved you brothers since day first, man. You know, and so when you called me and told me about it, I had to represent, man.
My guy, and you've been represented since day one, and I can say this here on the Blackout Podcast, and I've said it to you off air as well, man, in other places, that you've always been A1, man, since day one, brother. You've always taken us under your wing, where we had even I knew that out. I found that out that time we almost got into it with Frost and with Booyah Tribe over there at the Hollywood pool hall.
Athletic club, yeah.
Yeah, man. I know we've told that story. We haven't, we could do that another time, but that's neither here nor there. But you, since then, man, you've always been solid, dude, and you've always showed up every time I asked you. Even in my recent birthday party, bro. Even in there was a to bust a studio verse, man. Mellow Man was always there, and I applaud you and I thank you for that, man. Love you for
You're
that.
damn right. And I'll do it all over again. That's just what it is. You know, I love you, boy.
El Padrino Mellow Man Ace. Thank you, bro. Gracias, man. I think my food's on the way. My wifey's over here texting me. I was only gonna go an hour, but shit, man. You and I, we could talk for days. So please come back, man. On the podcast, and I'd love to get updated again to see how many more cities that you grow. With the Art Institute type,
The Mellow Man Ace Edutainment Arts Program, yeah.
the rap star.
I'll definitely come back. I'll definitely come back and let you know and update you.
And really quick, I know we was trying. I even DM'd her. You're managing too as well. Is this Jessica Acosta? You want to talk about that just real quick?
Yeah, Jessica came to my attention by an amazing graphic arts guy named Raul Sanchez, and I'll connect you to. He pointed her out to me, and so I said, "Yeah, I'll help her out. I'll do what I can." So I reached out to you, and I sent you her information off the rip. And I look forward to seeing her growth. So shout out to her.
Yeah, and she's out of Riverside too. That's even doper, man. Right down the street, right here from me, man. So
yeah,
I'll definitely will check her stuff out, brother. Thank you for the tip on that, and we look forward to having her here as well. And I'll catch you on the fly, my brother.
Love you, bro.
Stay away from that weed.
Yes, unequivocally.
All right, bro. We'll catch you, man. Yes, sir. Peace. All right, man. Hey, that's it, guys. So that's a wrap. I just wanted to come on here and shoot the shit, and it started with the whole conversation of me and Mello sharing like our weed experiences. So if you're just coming in right now and catching this live, you can scroll back to the beginning, because that's when we basically just get it out the way, so on and so forth. So other than that, I appreciate you guys. Little Art, you can go back as well. Blackout Crew is still in effect. We're just holding it down right now until we get this location settled. But every now and then you'll see me pop in maybe once or twice a week, just to kind of keep the channel floating and keep feeding you guys content. If there's anything else you'd like to see during this time, I give it about maybe 2 to 3 weeks before we get to our new location, and you'll see everybody back. But in the meantime, let me know, man. I know there's nothing's like going live when somebody's in person. I get that, but thank God for great internet, and we're able to at least get them back on camera here. It's better than nothing, I say. So if there's somebody you'd like to reach out to, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of cats that are out of state as well, too, that I can reach out to, that we can do this form of technology. Hey, don't hesitate to drop it in the comments. All right. Other than that, please subscribe to all of our channels. It's the Blackout Podcast on all social media. All right. And if you get a chance, jump over to the Lighter Shade of Brown YouTube channel. We just dropped 2 bangers, Funk by Nature and Sunsets. God bless y'all. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.